From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau, and this is your News 8 Daily for Wednesday, January 21st. Today, it's going to feel a lot better than the last few days. It is still cold outside, but not nearly as cold. We're going to get to about 40 degrees today. The thing is, the cold returns, and there could be some snow this weekend. So, still bundle up.
I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
After a celebration in Miami, the return home for the national champion Indiana Hoosiers is much quieter, at least until this weekend. News 8's Kat Sandoval was at the Indianapolis airport last night when the football team came back home to Indiana.
It's a different type of touchdown as the plane lands with the IU team in sight. It's the first time the players set foot in Indiana soil since they defeated the Miami Hurricanes. There's the season's Heisman Trophy winner, Fernando Mendoza, wearing his signature gold headphones. And of course, Coach Curt Cignetti. There are no fans, no fanfare. The players and their coach have a bit of quiet privacy in a separate section of the Indianapolis airport as they board the bus for that hour trip to Bloomington. At the main terminal, a sea of red fans.
I'm really proud to be a Hoosier because the t-shirts that we're wearing underneath our sweatshirts say to win with class. And I feel like we did that last night. And I think that anybody watching the game can say that the Hoosiers went out there and played with pride and played with class.
Curt Flock went to IU in 1976 when the basketball team won the championship and were undefeated. Now he's seen the football team do the same.
And I had to go with my wife. We've shared all kind of experiences together, and I wanted her to be with me for this one because it was going to be epic, something we would remember the rest of our lives.
It was absolutely epic. We were nail-biting all night, but the team kept coming back, and we had the best team in the field, so we knew we were going to win. But boy, at the end, it was truly magical.
Fans say it was a moment forever seared in their memory.
A lot of hugging of strangers and just a lot of screaming, and I like my voice. I mean, you don't know my voice, but it sounds weird right now because of all the screaming. And yeah, it was just a lot of camaraderie, I think, was the best part.
Fans will also get a chance to see their favorite players this coming Saturday at 1 p.m. for a celebration. Reporting in Indianapolis International Airport, I'm Kat Sandoval with Wish TV, wishtv.com.
Here are the plans for that free celebration. It starts at 1 Saturday afternoon at Memorial Stadium. Lots open at 10 Saturday morning with the gates opening at 11:30. Before the celebration, people can go walk to Heps Rock at around noon. That's the rock that sits in the north end zone and is named for former head coach Terry Hepner. Today, you could go get an autograph of the Heisman Trophy winner and now national champion, Fernando Mendoza. He's set to sign autographs at Dick's Sporting Goods at College Mall on East 3rd Street in Bloomington. Organizers say 250 wristbands will be handed out on a first-come, first-served basis when Dick's opens at 9 this morning. Wristbands are required for you to go. He's going to be signing autographs from 5 until 6:30 this evening. New on Daybreak, Fernando Mendoza's brother is leaving IU for Georgia Tech. We first told you on Daybreak yesterday morning that the backup quarterback, Alberto Mendoza, entered the transfer portal right after the Hoosiers' win over Miami. Later in the day, Mendoza announced he was headed to Atlanta to sign with the Yellow Jackets. The redshirt freshman played in 9 games for IU this year, mostly in mop-up duty blowout wins. His transfer follows IU signing a former TCU starting quarterback, Josh Hoover. In other news, new on Daybreak, the Clinton County Board of Commissioners has rejected a rezoning request for a proposed data center near Frankfort, northwest of Indianapolis. The 3-member commission voted unanimously yesterday to turn down the rezoning of 715 acres of farmland that could have led to that data center. Commissioners rejected the recommendation from the Clinton County Plan Commission to move forward with the project. The vote yesterday means that developers must wait at least a year to make similar requests in the county. Happening today at the State House, several major bills are set to be in committee hearings at the Capitol. In House committees today, there will be a hearing on a bill that will allow firing squads and nitrogen gas to be used as alternatives for inmate executions. The House Education Committee is also set to vote on a bill that sets up the Indianapolis Public Education Corporation. That's that group that would that the mayor would appoint, and it would oversee the schools in the city, taking some power away from the elected Indianapolis Public Schools Board. A Senate committee is set to hear Senate Bill 236. It targets abortion pills. The bill would make suppliers of abortion drugs available by prescription liable for what supporters call the wrongful deaths of pregnant women or fetuses from using the drugs. The Senate Education Panel will also hear a bill that would require schools to teach the historical significance of the Ten Commandments, U.S. Constitution, and other documents. That bill would also prohibit schools from discussing national heritage, identity, culture, or gender identity. A House committee has also signed off on a bill that would limit local government restrictions on housing. News 8's government reporter, Garrett Bergquist, says could lead to more homes being built, though critics say they worry about the type of housing that it could lead to.
This is the number one priority for House Republicans. They say it's designed to increase the housing supply by reducing regulations. The bill would prohibit local governments from requiring public hearings or discretionary zoning for developments in residential zones. This would apply to single-family homes and accessory dwelling units. It also limits local regulations on mixed-use development in commercial zones. And local governments could not block religious institutions from developing affordable housing on land they own.
We can't do anything about land values, the cost of lumber, or the cost of labor, but we can push down and put downward pressure on those policy decisions that are being made locally. The average age of the first-time homebuyer is 40, and this is the record age for us. That is it's hard for me to even say that number.
Local governments also would have to allow 2 single-family homes or a duplex on property zoned for residential use. Experts consistently say Indiana needs about 50,000 more housing units than it has just to keep up with demand. Municipal leaders say they agree with the intent of the bill, but they fear it will limit their ability to respond to the needs and demands of their own communities.
HB 1001 would wipe away most of the work that has been done to ensure we have balanced and sustainable growth moving forward, and instead puts decision-making in the hands of national-level builders who are more focused on their bottom line than the community that they build in.
For example, Willis says the bill's limits on road impact fees could limit cities' ability to pay for road improvements near new neighborhoods. The bill's author points out municipal governments will be able to opt out of the fee restrictions and other requirements, though not the zoning restrictions.
But at the end of the day, you as committee members, and hopefully I get a chance to close, we've all got to decide just how much opportunity we want to create for Hoosiers, for housing in this great state.
Democrats on the committee say they don't want to encourage substandard housing.
I don't want our intention to drive more infill and put more housing on the market, which is a really good goal, to also result in a deepening of the low quality number of affordable houses we have. I don't think an affordable house needs to be a low quality one. We need to ensure that there is quality, especially in our urban neighborhoods.
Johnson says he's still talking to the bill author about that. He says there's a good chance he and his colleagues will support the bill when it reaches the House floor. The bill now moves on to the full House. Lawmakers there will have a chance to make further changes before they vote on whether or not to send it over to the Senate. At the State House, I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
National news now. Several state and local officials in Minnesota have been subpoenaed following the recent anti-ICE protests in Minneapolis as federal officials keep trying to defend the immigration crackdown in the Twin Cities. Sherelle Hubbard has more.
The Department of Justice has subpoenaed at least 5 officials in Minnesota, sources tell CNN. That's including Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, Governor Tim Walz, and State Attorney General Keith Ellison as part of a probe into whether state and local leaders obstructed federal immigration enforcement efforts.
Collusion and corruption between elected officials and these anarchists that are intent on creating violence for law enforcement.
Federal officials defended immigration enforcement operations on Tuesday, despite the death of Renee Good, who was fatally shot by an ICE agent earlier this month. In a press briefing, President Donald Trump defended the crackdown, but admitted ICE sometimes makes mistakes.
ICE is going to be too rough with somebody, or, they're dealing with rough people. They're going to make a mistake. Sometimes it can happen.
Trump said he felt horribly about Good's death, but the fatal shooting remains top of mind for many Minnesotans.
Renee Good!
The Justice Department also announced an investigation into anti-ICE protesters who interrupted Sunday morning service at St. Paul Church, where they say an ICE official also serves as a pastor.
The list goes on of people that the DOJ investigates under false pretenses. And yet, we're asking you, investigate Jonathan Ross for the killing of Renee Good.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
President Trump's trip to Switzerland was briefly put on pause after Air Force One had a minor electrical fault while heading to Switzerland. Out of an abundance of caution, the crew turned around, landed back in Washington, where the president went onto another plane. The president is headed to Switzerland to speak at the World Economic Forum in Davos. He is expected to talk about affordable housing, promote his Board of Peace, and discuss the Greenland controversy with European allies. January is National Blood Donor Month, and the American Red Cross has declared a severe blood shortage. The Red Cross says that the blood shortage could impact life-saving care for people across the country and patients that need the blood. Mandy Gaither explains what led to the shortage and how you can help.
Extreme weather, canceled blood drives, and the highest respiratory illness levels in more than 25 years have delivered a devastating blow to the nation's blood supply.
We are experiencing a severe blood shortage.
Dr. Courtney Lawrence with the American Red Cross says the organization's blood inventory across the U.S. has come down by about 35% over the past month alone. That blood goes to patients during emergencies, surgeries, or during childbirth. It's also given to people with blood disorders like sickle cell disease and to those being treated for cancer.
Blood is extremely important for hospitals to be able to provide life-saving care for patients.
Platelet donations as well as all blood types are needed, but especially type O, which is a universal blood type, and A and B negative blood types. Donors can search by zip code for a nearby blood drive on redcrossblood.org. Donation appointments can also be made by calling 1-800-RED-CROSS or through the organization's app.
If you're feeling well, if it's safe for you to travel in your weather, we really rely on you on coming in, donating blood, and helping support patients in need.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on Wish TV and wishtv.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.